3 members of the alleged radical vegan Zizian cult have been arrested. Maryland officers brought in Jack Ziz LaSota, the alleged leader of the group, along with Michelle Zajko and Daniel Blank on February 16th.
The Zizians have been tied to 6 killings across 3 states.
I would describe some of the crimes that they're accused of as being demonic, you could say.
The trio appeared in front of a judge days after their arrest and were all held without bail. LaSota, at one point, interrupted the judge to say he would starve unless he was given vegan food in jail. So, who are the Zizians? Here's everything you need to know.
This has all the makings of a Netflix cult docudrama. These Zizians appear to be a group of mostly transgender computer scientists who met online, united in anarchist beliefs, including radical veganism, and turned violent.
In 2016, LaSota, a transgender woman and computer programmer in the San Francisco Bay Area, began blogging under the online persona Ziz, sharing intricate and often meandering theories. The group is involved in practices including unihemispheric sleep, a state similar to hypnosis where people sleep with one eye open. The practice is intended to demonstrate that the brain's 2 hemispheres are separate identities that, according to LaSota's blog, often desire to kill each other. LaSota and 3 others were arrested at a 2019 protest where they donned hoods and Guy Fawkes masks while protesting a Berkeley rationality and cognitive bias nonprofit. They called it a protest against sexual misconduct within rationalist organizations. By 2020, the Zizians had established a base of sorts in Vallejo, California, first living on a boat, and then in box trucks on a property owned by landlord Curtis Lind. He didn't charge the group rent during the pandemic, but once he did request some payment, the Zizians refused to pay up and leave despite eviction warnings. Lind, frustrated with non-payment and growing tensions, gave them a final deadline, November 17. 2 days before that deadline, on November 15, 2022, Lind was attacked. According to police reports, one of the Zizians, Emma Borhanian, swung a sword at him, partially blinding him. Lind, acting in self-defense, shot and killed Borhanian. Local authorities arrested 2 Zizians, Alexander Leatham and Suri Dow, charging them with murder. Weeks later, the Zizians scattered. Some traveled across state lines, with LaSota, Michelle Zajko, and others reappearing in Pennsylvania. And more murder followed.
An elderly couple that were killed in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, were shot execution style in their homes on New Year's Eve.
Police found a gruesome scene. Richard and Rita Zajko, Michelle's parents, had been shot to death. Authorities quickly focused on Michelle Zajko, who had a rocky relationship with her parents. A doorbell camera captured audio of a car pulling up, a voice shouting "Mom," and a struggle before gunshots rang out. Police questioned Zajko but did not initially charge her. Instead, she was arrested weeks later for obstruction and trespassing in an unrelated incident while hiding out in a Pennsylvania hotel with LaSota. Both were soon released. By January 2025, the Zizians had returned to California, and Curtis Lind, the landlord who had barely survived the sword attack, was still prepared to testify against the group. On January 17, 2025, Lind was found murdered in his home. Authorities charged another Zizian, 22-year-old Maximilian Snyder, with the killing. Prosecutors allege Snyder was sent to kill Lind specifically to prevent him from testifying. 2 days later, the Zizians' activities took an even deadlier turn. On January 20th, 2025, U.S. Border Patrol agent David Mayland stopped a suspicious vehicle in Coventry, Vermont. A car connected to Felix Bockholt and Teresa Youngblood. Moments later, gunfire erupted. Mayland was killed in the shootout. Bockholt also died at the scene. Youngblood was shot and wounded, but survived. Authorities quickly linked the handgun back to the Zizians. It was bought by Michelle Zajko, who was still a suspect in the murder of her parents. By February 16, 2025, law enforcement had gathered enough evidence to make a move. Now, with LaSota and key members behind bars, authorities are piecing together the full extent of the group's crimes. Cases are unfolding in multiple states.